What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of F1 Underground Podcast. That wave. As always, we're the brand new podcast on the Underground Network, focusing on all things Formula One. My name is Casey. That's Owen. Today we're gonna go through some different things from the week.
It's a slow week.
Yeah, it's a slow week. I need a race week to come back. I need Baku next week. I can't
Yeah.
wait to talk about normal content. And then we're just going to do like two fun things at the end. And F1, I'm going to give Owen two options in F1, this or that. He'll have to pick. And then comparing F1 drivers to other professional athletes. So we'll go from there. Oh, I didn't.
I would. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, there you go. I would really like to say before we get into this too that I'm upset that you have the doll in the background on the couch.
Oh my God. I normally don't.
I'm really upset about that. It's really creeping me out.
Normally you can't see it.
That is horrifying.
Oh, I'm sorry to anyone not watching the video, but I'll fill you in. I have Felicity, the American Girl doll. So normally she sits on this chair, but normally the way I angle the camera, you can't see her. So thank you for telling me.
Shouldn't sit on any chair. Need to get rid of that thing.
At least her hat was pulled over her eyes. Okay.
All right.
First off, wait, I didn't.
Meme of the week.
Do you have one?
I do have one. It's not so much a meme. Mine's
not really meme easy.
I just thought it was funny. This is again from the Formula Dank subreddit.
Your new favorite subreddit.
This is like my new favorite subreddit. It's fantastic. This was posted by Fish Teeth 69420. Very, very good.
Yeah, that's the username.
So it's a beginner's guide to Formula One teams. And it's kind of just like a flow chart that goes down to and it's just asking you yes or no questions. So it's like, do you like winning? Yes or no? So it's, I'll tell you the two that I found the funniest, and then I'll tell you the one that I ended up on. So it says, the first one, top of the tree, says, do you like winning? It says yes, no. If you go to no, it immediately points you to Williams Racing. So I enjoyed that because they're literally right at the top of the tree. That's it. Williams Racing. So then it goes.
Poor Williams.
So then it goes, do you like winning? Yes or no? You can do yes. It then asks you, do you have a superiority complex? And it says yes or no. If you go to yes, it brings you to two other options that say, I'm delusional, or is it because you're actually good? And under those teams, is it because you're actually good? Is Red Bull. And then I'm delusional is Mercedes, actually.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
So I just thought it was really funny. So then it brings you all the way down. There's a whole bunch of different teams, but I think it's really funny. And then the one that I ended up on was, do you like winning? Yes. Do you have a superiority complex? No. Do you like to support underdogs? Yes. Do you want a competitive team? Yes. Do you make weapons for Russian terrorists? No. And I ended up at Alpine. So
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that one to figure out.
I can send it over to you.
Mine's not really a meme either.
The buzzing's back again.
Can you hear it?
No. Yes.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the heck? How bad is it?
Pretty bad. Having some technical difficulties.
Keep talking. I'm gonna.
So let's see what else is on here. See if I can describe anything. There is. Oh, there's another.
Can you hear me now?
There's a what?
Wait, can you hear me now? Does it sound better? Does it sound better or no?
Yes, it sounds better.
Okay. I just won't look at my iPad. But it's never happened before, so I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? You have another one?
So there's another picture that says 2010 to 2013. It's a picture of Lewis Hamilton, and it says Vettel's dominance could bore fans. And then it says 2014 to 2020, and it's a picture of Lewis Hamilton on pole, like on a pole celebration. And then it says 2022 to present, Verstappen's dominance could bore fans. So it's just making fun of him being like, "Oh, this is, if this one person's really dominant, it's not gonna be good. It's gonna bore a lot of fans and blah blah blah." And then from 2014 to 2020, he was the most dominant racer and was winning everything, just like Max Verstappen is now. So
Yeah.
I thought that was another funny one. Yeah,
that's a good one. Mine's not actually a meme either. There was just memes that were born from it. It was the video. Well, we all saw them filming it during the Australia Grand Prix with the Ferrari boys, and they had those crazy goggles on. So there was no context when you were seeing them film it, so you had no clue what was going on. But the video, apparently the goggles turned everything upside down. So if I was looking at you, you'd be upside down. So then they made them do the driver reflex test, some weird paddleball game, and then just shooting a soccer ball into a net with the other one as the goalie. But it's 8 minutes of just pure chaos because they're so funny. I think Charlotte Leclerc might say, wait. If you take a shot every time he says wait, you'd be dead before the video's halfway over.
good.
They're both just it's so funny. The stuff that came from it, he's yelling Carlos's name, and then they are supposed to get a point to see who wins at the end, and then they both end up tying, and Leclerc's like, well, that was disappointing, but yeah, that one was. Now that you know what the video was, it was totally worth it. It was so funny.
I have been seeing screenshots of the video around, and I've been meaning to watch it, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
I don't know how. It's what's her name, Laura. She's on F1 TV. I can't think of her last name, Laura.
I can't remember her last name either.
I don't know how she, if I was the host, I literally would just be, I would be peeing my pants. I'd be laughing so hard because they're just nonstop. I don't think I've ever heard the two of them laugh so much. But
I'm gonna watch this video after we record just to see it.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. There's been rumors of them, having a not so great relationship this season, but after that video, I think that was Ferrari PR being we gotta fix this relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was so funny.
I could
the
see
stuff
that
came from it. Yeah. But yeah, that was our memes of the week.
Memes of the week.
Nothing.
Diagrams of the week.
Diagrams of the week. Videos of the week. Weekly news. Where did my... So we'll start off with, I was actually Is it back?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Okay, wait. If I just...
Do your headphones have mics on them?
Yes, but I don't know how they sound.
No time like the present. Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, they're not great, but...
Okay, hold on. No. Mm-mm. How about just my MacBook?
That's better. Still not great.
Oh my god. This is so freaking annoying.
Wait. Are you still on your MacBook right now?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds fine.
Okay, I'm going to just keep it like this. Okay?
Yeah, it took a little time to adjust. My bad.
Okay.
All right. Now we can jump into the news.
Yes.
Hopefully our technical difficulties are...
This is just getting thrown.
Yeah. Throw it back there.
I'm so annoyed. Okay.
Fuck that shit.
Sorry to our audio listeners or even the video listeners because we've been delayed 2 minutes now. Okay.
That's
but
fine.
Other than that, so the news, I'm actually happy we are recording today because the news came out today of what happened with Carlos Sainz. So it came out that they were actually going to be, obviously we knew they were appealing the FIA's decision on Carlos Sainz penalty at the end. So the other day it came out that he was having a virtual hearing today, the 18th. So I was like, please have a decision. So it literally, I think I saw something was like 2 hours long, the hearing. That was it. And there was like, the decision was like imminent. Like it literally didn't take long. So Chris Medland, I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff. He's an F1 journalist. His stuff comes up a lot of time.
No, I haven't seen that.
What's it called? So he tweeted today all about it. So the Ferrari's petition for a right to review into Carlos Sainz penalty in Australia is dismissed. The stewards deemed there was no significant and relevant new like data or elements to take in. So apparently they argued with telemetry from Sainz car, a witness statement from Carlos Sainz, and some of the post-race comments that they thought were significant and relevant. Why are you smirking? Can you hear me?
Because you could hear the mic. You could hear the motorcycle above you. That's all right. That's better than the squeaking or the buzzing.
So they said the stewards obviously said the telemetry was fine, but this is the best part. It's so funny. The memes that came from it so fast. So apparently Carlos Sainz, his statement, he blamed low grip on the cold tires and that the sun was in his eyes on the first corner.
Yeah. I was reading the article on F1.com that came out after the decision was made public, and I saw that I didn't see the sun in his eyes because I don't think they put that in that article, but I did see the rear, like the grip and the cold tires, like excuse, I guess, for lack of a better term, which like I kind of was like, all right, like whatever, like sure, like that makes it more difficult to stop, absolutely, like yeah. The sun in the eyes, though, that is just that's not
like if you had the sun, like someone put a screenshot automatically of Logan Sargent during that same corner, and I don't know how he saw the sun glare is literally the whole picture. Like you can't even see anyone else. It's like it obviously just wasn't Carlos Sainz that was blinded by the sun. But it was someone was literally like that meme, and it was like, is the sun bothering you? With like the guy pointing the gun towards the sun.
Oh yeah.
Or there was what was the one? Someone photoshopped like Charles Leclerc's face into the Teletubby sun, and it was like what Carlos Sainz saw. Yeah, that could have been my meme of the week right there.
Oh, that's
what
good.
Came
that
out today?
Been a meme of the week.
I know, but
that's
yeah,
good.
it was so funny and like just kind of I feel like a stupid reason to include that the sun was in his eyes when you're an F1 driver battling the elements sometimes.
If you're looking for like data and like new evidence to like try to like fight this, the strongest argument is definitely not, oh, I had the sun in my eyes, and be like, all right, so did everybody else. Not everybody else crashed into not everybody crashed into somebody else. Like, I will say, I did like Ferrari's response to it. They posted
Carlos put a response out too.
Yeah, Ferrari's response. I didn't see Carlos's, but I saw Ferrari's, and it was essentially just like, we know that, the FIA is not supporting us in here. Naturally we're upset, but we're just going to keep on. We're going to keep on going, basically. We're going to move forward. We're going to move past it and basically move on to different races and get ready for those.
Carlos kind of said the same stuff. He just said that he was very disappointed. What's it called? And that like 2 weeks later, he thinks the penalty, the key to this was talking about the consistency and decision-making of the penalties this season hasn't been good. So that's why I think he's more pissed because.
Well, yeah, you have, I can't remember if we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago, but the difference in the penalties between Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz in terms of the length of time it was taken to give to them to like apply to the drivers. Obviously Fernando took like 30, 40 laps, something like that. And Carlos was, Carlos was 5 seconds after he was done. Or 5 seconds after it happened, there was a penalty applied to him. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think as annoying as it is, you're now 2 weeks past it. The decision is done.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of just like wipe the hands and move on. Like
I feel like you should have known you weren't going to win when it took them that long to decide a virtual hearing was needed.
Yeah, because that to me, for them to decide that long for like we're gonna have a meeting about it is like we don't want to have this meeting. Like we're gonna try to push it off as much as we can because we don't want to do this. Like
I feel like the meeting was over 2 hours just to like satisfy Carlos and Ferrari. FIA knew what their decision was, and I can't even remember. Let me look back. I tweeted that like the decision was. Okay, I tweeted at 7:55 a.m. Yeah, okay. So that Chris Medland tweeted at 7:49 a.m. our time. Oh wait, no. Sorry, hold on. Take it back.
Was this morning that you were tweeting?
Yes. Okay. So I tweeted. I saw that the meeting was over and we were waiting on a decision at 7:27 a.m. By 7:45, the decision was posted. So like.
Yeah.
Ferrari just waited to make sure their Zoom was fully closed, and then
and then
like,
they decided.
I was like, okay, yeah. They were like, "What do you want to talk about? You want coffee or?" But it was not worth it. But
like I said, it sucks. Like, of course, you don't want to see the difference between Fernando and Sainz again, but like, again, like at the same time, it's like, all right, 2 weeks, we got a race in 2 weeks. Kind of just like, okay, we're done. We're done here. Like, let's move on. Let's focus. And I think Ferrari has bigger issues to worry about than a 5-second penalty from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's what people. Then I saw someone. They're like, Yuki points. Yuki's still in the points. People were celebrating because Yuki would have been out of the points. I think if he.
Oh yeah.
If it would have went through, because what Carlos would have ended.
Carlos would have ended.
Fourth or fifth. No, he ended outside the points because of the.
That's penalty. Right. He ended. I was thinking about the math. I was thinking about the math wrong. He ended 12th, but yes, he would have been somewhere in the 4 to 6 range.
Yeah,
like is where he would have been for a final position. But
I also saw someone today post after like Carlos posted his statement. Someone said this brings up the point that I always think about, like when different things like this happen. If these drivers were in Hamilton's shoes after Abu Dhabi 2021, how they would react.
If that's a really good point.
I think probably the best person it happened to was Hamilton because, he was pissed, but still, that's someone's like, I feel like any other driver would have been pissed off. Like if it happened to Max Verstappen, oh God, we would.
Oh, God,
we don't hear the end of it now, but
God Almighty.
Yeah, so I thought. Once I knew that they were doing the hearing today, I was like, "Oh, cool! We'll have actual news that happened the day up."
Actual news.
So. And then moving on, this kind of really isn't news. It's just Zach Brown giving interviews like he does every week. I think the man might speak more about his drivers than any other team. So it was an article with him. He said that there are 0 exit clauses in Lando Norris McLaren's contract. And his quote says, he is very happy here, and he sees the progress we are making. First off, what progress? But that's okay. And then
seen a lot of progress as of yet, Zach.
Yeah. There was another quote from him saying that he expects Piastri to be on the same pace as Norris this year. And he says what we want to have is 2 drivers that are pushing each other. That's what you want out of your 2 drivers, to know that it's down to you as a team to provide them with a car to get you to the front. Again, we haven't seen it yet, but sure. Okay.
The front. That seems a little.
Yeah. I mean, I do always forget that Norris was on the podium last year in Imola, and that is coming up. So, I mean, you never know.
That's true. You never know. They could have a day that everything lines up for them and everything goes really well. But
I always it was a hypothetical I thought of. I've said when he said that he thinks Piastri will performing as well as Lando, I said, do you think the minute? I don't think this will happen to Lando because I think Lando is still obviously young and in the beginning of his career, not like Daniel Ricciardo. But I said, if it happened that Piastri started outperforming Lando Norris, does Lando Norris get the Danny Rick treatment from McLaren and slowly get pushed to the side? Have the next driver be signed and you don't really know.
I can see him. I don't think a whole situation like with Daniel Ricciardo would happen again, because I think McLaren came under a lot of fire for that.
Yeah.
So I could see like their PR department being like, hey, don't do that again. But I definitely can see them, if Piastri starts outpacing Norris, I can definitely see them like kind of pushing Norris to the side, and more than just a like Piastri's driver 1, Norris's driver 2 type deal. Like I can see it being like, you know, Piastri's car might be tuned a little bit more than, or a little bit better than Norris is, or like a little bit more time would be spent for Piastri on like a testing ring or than Norris. Like just small stuff like that will, I think, will definitely have an effect. And it's just, I can definitely see it. I would hope, just because you're right, Lando Norris is still very young. He's still a very talented driver.
Yeah. And I think Zach Brown, I think, is literally in love with Lando Norris. I mean, he's raised him.
I don't think he would. It would be somewhere in the middle ground. Because, like I said, it wouldn't be the full Daniel Ricciardo treatment, because I don't think McLaren wants to do that to themselves again. That would, again, be like they already shot themselves in the left foot with Daniel Ricciardo. Other than if they do this with Lando Norris, they're going to shoot themselves in the right foot. So it's like, don't do it again. But, yes, I can see them. I could definitely see, like, little differences between their training methods or their, just small things between Piastri and Norris that will make all the difference on the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they have two very similar drivers in style right now, so I don't think they just had a better car, but we'll see.
They need a better car.
Still very early in the season. But I thought that was an interesting tidbit. And like I said, there's always, I think, even like every week there's something from Zach Brown. I mean, last week we had that he wanted to box Toto Wolff, so he's always
which I'm still down for. Still absolutely down for seeing. I would love that. So but moving on. So obviously, if you're in America, not even if you're in America, there was like historical rain in Florida last week. At the end of last week, it got
most of
battered.
Yeah, like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, they won. Miami, Fort Lauderdale was all like super flooded, and in Miami, we mean the racetrack in a few weeks was completely
specifically
covered.
The racetrack. Yeah,
specifically the racetrack, like covered in water. I mean, they wanted a water feature last year, so
that's right.
They had fake water. This year they have real water. No, they do have real water this year. I saw there's going to be pools throughout the paddock area. But so I saw there was obviously memes come from that right away. It was like lights out and away we go. And then it was like the drivers sitting in boats.
Sailboats. Like they got kayaks.
You know what happened? No, not even kayaks. Like, oh my God, they should just start rowing. They could have.
They should do team rows with the team principals as the person who shouts. On the,
I can't think of their name.
I don't even know what their name is too. You know what? I'm gonna go off on a tangent here.
Okay, good. I knew this speaking.
What do those people do? What do those like? I understand they keep like logically I understand what they do. Right? They keep the pace.
The people that yell.
Yes, the people that sit on the boat and just literally yell. Well, because
they keep the pace of the.
Yes, like I'm saying, logically and technically speaking, I know exactly what they do. They're keeping the pace for the rowers, so that way all the rowers are pulling at the same time. You're generating the most amount of force. But like, what else do you do? Like,
so like I think they also say like
are like their arms are burning. Like,
yeah, but I think like if maybe they start going a different way, then they get them back on track. I don't know. They that person I can't remember the name. Look it up. look up what the actual term is.
I don't even know how to.
Person that yells.
Sits at
Rowing.
the end of a boat.
We'll get back to F1 topics, I promise.
Coxswain.
There you go. So I
In a
think
rowing
that
crew,
person.
the coxswain is a member who does not row but steers the boat and faces forward towards the bow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they steer.
And they also have to be like the smallest person because they're like standing. I think it's. I remember. I feel like I know someone that was that person. Like they have to be physically small.
Yeah.
And have like a certain weight. But fun topic.
That's just my short. That's my short rant.
Okay. I added something else to the weekly recap that I completely forgot about, but I put it after your Daniel Ricciardo, so you can go next if you want.
Yeah. So I saw an article today that Christian Horner, he was in an interview, I forget for what, but he confirmed that we would see Daniel Ricciardo back.
I saw this
in a Red Bull car this season for testing. Which is like, all right, that's great. Like you have to expect that as a reserve driver. But there was something in the article, Christian Horner points out, he goes, even with Daniel not driving, he's still probably one of the most popular drivers out of the entire grid. Just because of his popularity from Drive to Survive and everything. And he seems to have the most like bubbly personality out of all the drivers. So people are naturally gravitated towards him. And I thought about it and I was like, Red Bull should capitalize on that in terms of like if he's gonna do testing, like record it, post a video to YouTube. I don't know if Red Bull's racing team has a YouTube channel. I'm sure they do.
I think they do. I think a lot of teams do like the weekly race video recaps.
Yeah, put it up on YouTube because people I know would love to see that.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the dominance that Red Bull has, we haven't seen Daniel Ricciardo in a good race car in so long. So even if it's testing, I wouldn't be shocked that video does super, super well. And it's such a good thing for Red Bull's PR of just hey, here's Daniel Ricciardo doing a couple laps around the track. And he posts his times, you see what he does. I thought it was
They should capitalize. I mean, the man loves America, I think, more than Americans. So they should capitalize. I'm sure he'll be in Miami.
I'm sure.
I also am sure he'll be in Vegas because I think the reason why we're going to Vegas we're not going to Vegas. The reason F1 is going to Vegas.
I wish.
You have $10 million to go?
Nope.
Yeah, I think if they really want to capitalize, they also have him do a test run at an American race because he is American. I think he's of honorary American. So
yeah, it was just something cool that I saw that I was like, oh, I was like that. First of all, I got excited. I was like, I hope we get to see that. Just to
I got
see
excited
him
too
in
when I
such
saw that
dominant car, to see what times he can post and everything. And the other thing too is Christian Horner was talking about it of he's super happy where he's at now, Daniel Ricciardo, but I think Christian Horner kind of not teased, but maybe implied a little bit. He's I kind of hope he gets his love for the driving back through this way and everything. So I would, but I just thought it was cool because I was like, all right, sweet. And we get to see Daniel Ricciardo in a good race car. We got to see him back on the track. And I swear to God, if Red Bull doesn't post anything about it, I'm going to be livid.
Oh, they will. I mean, they were hyping him up and he was just in Australia because it was in Australia. So I know they will. Yeah. They will post and hype him up that he's back and driving in the car. But yeah, when I saw that too, I was like, yes, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw it.
He might have been when I first started watching. Sorry, people. When I first started watching Drive to Survive, I was obviously drawn to him because he is the face of the show.
Oh my God, yeah, he is.
That first season, he is the face of the show.
He is absolutely the face of the show.
Yeah, and then my interest went elsewhere, but yeah, he was the first.
He's just very the first season. He just does a good job of just he's the most personable and standout personality of it. So it's
oh yeah,
people instantly know like who he is, like who he's driving for. Like it's just he's a standout character, and he's always been that kind of character.
Yeah.
Like
it was interesting, like when he announced that he wasn't going to be on like at every race, people were like, well, who's going to be the personality of the paddock? I'm like, no one can be the personality of the paddock. Daniel Ricciardo's not there. I'm like, he was one of a kind, but
yeah.
it'll be interesting. I will definitely be watching every practice session when he's testing, because probably his onboards, because I want to see his times in that missile of a car. So
I would love. Oh God, and I'm standing with Christian Horner on it. I would hope to God that being in that car, I hope to God it
brings
like
it back,
reinvokes like his like love for like going that fast and winning and everything. And yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I also just thought of three other things. Hold on. Yeah, they're quick.
Holy crap.
I tweeted. Well, a lot of stuff actually happened today. So apparently Zandvoort and Silverstone could lose their place in the F1 calendar in the future. Did you see that? Because they're privately funded, which means that they can't make room for higher hosting cost if they're asked by the FIA. So, like, if they don't have enough money, they could disappear. Like Silverstone, one of the most historical
there's
circuits.
No way that would happen.
And then they tweeted literally this one account, it's like a Red Bull update account, tweeted later on that they're looking, FIA wants to add a fourth race and then some more outside of Europe. So, I mean, that had the Europe fans like freaking out because God forbid the sport grows. They don't want there to be any sport fans outside of Europe that can go to races. But yeah, I saw those two things.
Well, adding the more races, that ties back into the whole this Max Verstappen retire.
Quit.
Yeah. Type thing.
He said he will. I say by 2020.
We have to see if he's bluffing or not.
I don't think he's bluffing. I say by 2030, there's like 30 races, and he'll probably be gone. I have seen clips though. That man streams like e-racing, like video game racing all the time.
Oh yeah, he's always on.
I've seen like various clips. I think he has his own like team, but literally he is on all the time.
Yeah. The man just probably eats, sleeps, and breathes racing.
He definitely does.
Some form, whether it's in real life or it's virtual. Like
yeah. And then last thing before I move on to the other thing that I added, it was an article about how Carlos Sainz contract ends with Ferrari in 2024. So does Leclerc's, but Carlos Sainz also ends in 2024. So with Audi coming.
Oh, I thought I saw something about this earlier.
So obviously there's been rumors that Audi's going to want Mick Schumacher because German, the name. And this is when Sebastian Vettel comes back and becomes team principal also, I think, because like, why not? So that's going to happen. But apparently the rumor is that they want Carlos Sainz to be with their driver pair.
Someone
was like, yes, give me a Nepo team. Give me a Nepo baby team. Driver pair. So yeah, I saw
an article that was like Audi going after big name drivers, and the picture below it for the thumbnail was Carlos Sainz, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and I just like never clicked on it. I should have clicked in.
That's the rumor that they want Carlos Sainz and Mick Schumacher. I mean, Mick Schumacher makes perfect sense for
Mick Schumacher
Audi.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
perfect sense.
I'm not shocked by that at all.
No. But yeah, I was like, ooh. I mean, I think I saw something, 2024, like the silly season they call it, is going to, like, it's like half of like we thought last season was crazy. I think this season and next season, it's like literally the whole grid will be either changing teams or like Drive to Survive. I can't wait.
Yeah,
for that.
Oh God.
Drive to Survive. Also can't wait for excited. My next point that I wanted to talk about. Did you see any of this?
No.
Okay, so the brother of Ferrari's chairman tweeted, he was going off.
Oh, no.
Someone asked him something about, this is probably also why Carlos Sainz will be leaving. So apparently he tweeted, Ferrari needs seriousness and a winning team in the pits and outside. That's what he wrote on Twitter. All these tweets have been deleted, by the way.
Oh,
this is like his brother is like the head of Ferrari. He also tweeted, it's time to wake up. Enough with the politics and games like this. We will never win, in all caps.
Wow.
He then went on to take a shot at Santander, the bank that's their like major sponsor.
Yeah.
And this is also deleted. He tweeted, Santander for me, terrible bank. Also tweeted, but I didn't know this. Santander was a sponsor years ago, before Bernardo was team principal. He brought them back, but it was a sponsor when it was like Fernando Alonso and was Kimi. I think Kimi might have been his team. Like, so apparently because they're a Spanish bank, their politics when there's a Spanish driver gets over. Like, apparently Kimi was the better driver that year.
They're like
won the first few races, and then next thing you know, kind of like last year, next thing you know, what's his name's car was like not working, and Fernando Alonso started having the better strategy. So last year, people are saying, like Ted Kravitz saying that the wrong driver won in Silverstone. Leclerc was doing so well, and then all of a sudden, Santander started playing their politics again. And like I remember people were calling it out before. It's always been like a rumor that literally people on Twitter call it Sainz Tander. Like they changed the beginning to include Carlos Sainz's last name. And like I think after Silverstone, they tweeted, or like Ferrari did their after race post about Carlos winning, and like Santander completely disregarded Charles Leclerc and literally put like winners win. That's what their comment was. Nothing about like Leclerc, like, and his strategy getting effed up. Yeah, so that's what people are like, what's happening. But yeah, those tweets have been deleted. I would love to have been on the phone call with brother and brother.
Those are some heavy accusations. Like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man, I missed that now. But that is fantastic. That is...
So someone apparently, I didn't see the actual tweet, a Charles Leclerc fan page retweeted it and said, the only person in Ferrari who will always be there in difficult times for Charles, and like retweeted and they're like, thank you. And he replied to the comment admitting, I don't even want to be president, but that's literally like his brother was probably like, who let him have his phone?
Yeah.
It was literally like over the weekend, all of a sudden you just like woke up and these tweets were going.
Like flying out.
I don't know what prompted him. Maybe Santander.
Apparently the dude's pissed. That's what prompted him.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what turned out we thought was a slow week. Didn't really end up being a slow week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
That is good. All right, so now you got to fill me in on more news because I don't know this stuff either. I do a great job of keeping up with the topic we talk about.
So it's kind of, I would say old at this point, but it's really not old because there's like more and more developments. So.
Oh wait, I do have a point to put onto this, but I'll give the whole rundown and then
This is not history with Casey. This is pop culture of F1 with Casey. No, that's an awful name. We can't go with that.
F1.
Okay.
Oh, we do need a segment for you though.
So I've talked about this podcast before, the PitStop Boys. It's like two guys. Their whole premise when they started the podcast like a year ago. Their whole premise when they started is they were new fans. They got into it because they were of Drive to Survive. They knew nothing about the sport. So like their podcast was as they're releasing episodes, they were learning about the sport.
Right.
Which cool. People are like, oh, okay, like you're in the same boat as us. Awesome, fine.
Yeah.
They got all these opportunities. They've had Will Buxton on their podcast. They've had physios on their podcast, like head engineers from Red Bull on their podcast, drivers on their podcast.
Wow.
Like including Ferrari Boys did a podcast with them. They've had F2 drivers on there. They did this whole thing. Like they have YouTube videos and stuff also. They've been invited to paddock, like all over. Killer opportunities that anyone would want to get.
Absolutely.
So there's this other podcast called Screaming Meals. I've only ever listened to like clips of it. They've come up. It's like most of them, a few of them are in IndyCar now, but they also went through like F2 and F3 and stuff. But it's like they're actual drivers in IndyCar and grew up doing Formula stuff and they have a podcast. So last week they did an episode with the PitStop boys. The Screaming Meal podcast they're always drinking wine, so it gets a little, but that's beside the point. Yeah,
rambunctious.
So, but that's besides the point. So in the middle of the episode, the two boys from the PitStop podcast, their names are Jake and they call him like Fabs for short. I think it's like Fabio. That's the one guy's name. Fabio looks like an asshole on the camera. He's wearing like sunglasses. I can't see it. Someone said you look like Andrew Tate, and I can't not see it now whenever I see the clip.
Oh God!
So in the middle of
the picture perfectly.
Yeah. So he's in front of all these legit race car drivers. Says that no one cares about the racing. No one watches racing for the racing. They care about the lives of the racing drivers. And then goes on to say, and one of the Screaming Meal boys continues in saying, like, yeah, their fan base, which they've talked about before, that the Screaming Meal's fan base is mostly women.
Right.
They don't care about the racing. Like, so that kind of blew up because people are like, yeah, I'm just waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning to watch 20 cars go around in a weird circle. Like,
right.
Like, yeah, I actually, like, people were up in arms about that they do care about the racing. Like, and they basically said that they don't really care about the racing, the PitStop boys. Meanwhile, they've been given all these opportunities that anyone would literally do anything to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, people were always wondering how they had such a big following pretty quickly, but apparently the one guy had a YouTube channel with a decent subscriber following when they started. And he also was big into, like, I think betting with football, soccer. So, but they started doing this, like, F1 one, which clearly now you just know that they were in it for the money and exposure. Like, they don't really care. People were like, I get it, you were new fans, but you've been a fan of the sport for a year now. You've been invited. You've met these drivers. You've met people in the sport. Learn something.
Yeah, learn that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what people were like comparing it, because then when the Screaming Meal boys say, like, talking about their specific fan base, that's when, like, girl fans took offense because, like, if you were a girl and it was our podcast and we were two girls, knew nothing about the sport and learning it because we were Drive to Survive fans, we would be ridiculed. That's, like, the bottom line. It's happened to multiple people I follow on TikTok and stuff. So that's people are like, not just because you're fans, like, get over that. They also there was another driver on there, Juan Manuel Carrera. I hope I said that correctly. I've been practicing, so I didn't want to mess it up.
Sound correct.
So he was an F2. He was the other driver in the accident with Antoine Hubert when he died.
Oh, okay.
So he was the other driver. He's literally a walking miracle. He had to learn how to walk again. Went back through working his way back up to racing. He had to be told that Antoine was dead when he woke up, like, out of a coma. Like, he had no clue. So he's sitting on the couch. So apparently I thought he was invited to the podcast. I went back and watched it. He was not invited. He just, like, kind of showed up. But the PitStop boys literally turned to him, the one, and said, I have no clue who you are.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Like, and he had to sit there. The JMC, I'll go for short, had to sit there while he had to hear them say that no one cares about the racing. Someone who literally almost lost his life. Racing
and
has to hear that fans don't care about the racing. Like, all this stuff. So people were up in arms about that because, like, obviously, I watched some F2. I'm not fully into it. I wasn't a fan when the crash happened. But, like, I've heard of this man before. Now I know a lot more. But, like, even I knew who the man was. I knew what he went through. Like, would have the common respect to maybe do some.
And that to me is also just, like, that is prime example of, like, think before you speak. Of just, like,
exactly.
Like, okay, if you don't know who he is, like, all right, that's fine. But don't look at it. Do not look at him in the eye and just be like, I don't really know who you are, and I don't really care.
Literally, like, if he's sitting next to me right here, he turned and said, I have no clue who you are.
Could you? Been like, hi, I'm a little unfamiliar with you. You know, can you tell me your story? You know, and then there you go. You get the same like result of Like, I
And
don't really know who
he looked so uncomfortable through the whole thing. Juan Manuel Carrera, like he looked annoyed. He looked pissed. I mean, he even went after all this was going on. He posted on like an Instagram story, and he was like, "Should I start a podcast?" And did like the yes or no. So he was kind of taking like a little bit of a funny way out of it, but still, like, I felt awful for him. The PitStop boys, they put out an apology yesterday. Literally, it was not an apology; it was their PR management apology.
Of course.
Like black background, white text, nothing. Someone on Twitter discovered that they used the chat GPD to create
This is the point that I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there are AI analyzers that will read a document for you and like give a probability of like this was maybe written by AI, and I think it was like 85% of it or something like
almost
like
all of it.
like caused like red flags for like this was probably written by AI.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's been nothing since literally nothing. Like when I saw the apology, I was like, okay, whatever. Like I want to actually hear from them. But then when I saw the tweet that it was probably written by AI, I was like, oh my god, that's even worse.
That is just
And F1 Twitter, I will say, get on their good side. They have taken their Spotify rating from, it was almost at 5 stars. They're now almost at like 2 stars. Because people have gone on and like rated it low, writing destroying them in the comments. Like cancel culture is obviously can be a little crazy, but in this instance, people now know that those PitStop boys were clearly in for the money. Like,
yeah. And again, like I keep going back to like, again, that's a think before you speak type thing where it's like, okay, nobody's gonna blame you if you're unfamiliar with a certain piece
we
of
get
history.
it. That was their whole premise of them learning the sport with their audience. Like
that's your whole shtick. Like we don't know everything about the sport. I mean, like that's like kind of like you and I. Like we don't know everything there is to know.
Yeah.
But like I'm putting like ourselves in that situation. Like I'm not gonna go on another F1 podcast with drivers and like I don't care if you don't know. I don't care if you don't know everything. If you're going on a podcast with somebody, you're gonna know who's hosting it, and you're gonna know a little bit about that person. And if those people are former F2 drivers, you're gonna know that. So it's like that you just don't you wouldn't go on there. Like you and I wouldn't go on there and be like, nobody cares about the sport. You do. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares that you drive around the cars. People just care about like your personal lives. And it's like, yes, there are the fans that are definitely more invested in the drivers than they are the races.
Oh yeah.
But like, just to go on there and just be like, nobody cares. Like that to me is just like that's super disrespectful. That's like such in bad taste. And it's like, why? Like, why are you even gonna say that? Like. I mean,
I know the Screaming Meals, they also, like, the week before, there was, like, a little backlash with their one episode. Nothing crazy. If I haven't heard of her. Her name's Lizzie McIntosh. She's a TikTok content creator, but now she does a lot of stuff for F1. What?
She's a computer? McIntosh?
No, what did I say? Oh, no. She now gets invited to the races and does, like, F1 TV stuff at the race. Like, if you're there, like, she's going around interviewing different people. So she was a guest on their podcast. And, like, they asked her, they're like, who do you think's the most attractive driver? She didn't miss a beat. And she's like, do you ask everyone that question? Because, like, obviously that's what people are like. You only watch it because the drivers are attractive. Yeah, well, they're covered for 95% of the telecasts. So what am I looking at? Like,
yes, like...
They had a little bit of backlash, but then, like, with the PitStop boys and then the one driver's commenting like that on Screaming Meals. No one's really pissed at Screaming Meals because it was mainly the PitStop boys that were creating their own downfall. And I saw someone, they're like, wow, Screaming Meals are so smart to invite PitStop boys to take out their main competition in F1 podcast.
If we ever get an invitation from them, we're not going on the show. We're not doing it.
We're not doing
Respectfully, we decline. No, that is just like, I mean, it sucks for Screaming Meals that it happened on their show. So it's like everyone, like if somebody's like telling their friend about it and it's like, oh yeah, like go listen to it. It's Screaming Meals episode this, like by that association, like you're going to suffer a little bit, but I mean, it's just like, yeah, that's so. I can't imagine going on another F1 podcast. And I get it. You said wine was involved, so maybe they were a little bit drunk, but
Yeah, but
you're talking about this. You're literally saying like, hey, the whole reason that we're here today and the whole reason that you guys have a show and the whole reason that this whole thing that you love to do, nobody cares about. And it's like,
the
what?
thing you risk your life at every weekend, no one cares.
The thing
no one
you
cares.
risk your life at, and the thing that, hey, I'm really sorry, your friend died in a car accident that you were or a racing accident that you almost lost your life in, but
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I just want to know what food you're gonna go get at the grocery store this Saturday. And it's like, what? Like, no.
That's what I hope every person that gave, this sounds awful and this sounds so cruel, but I hope every person that gave them that cool opportunity regrets it, because I only listened to a few of their episodes. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, they're learning the sport. So am I. This is interesting. But I feel like the number one thing should have been when they were talking about going to races, they were talking about how much they had to drink. Like, if you're talking about that going to a race, that's not my first thought. That's not my first thought.
If I'm going to a race for a first time, like if we ever go to a race, like the first thing I'm talking about is like, holy shit, these cars are faster. Holy shit, this is so cool to be here and experience this, and like
I would
just
be
like
literally
overwhelmed
so
with
everything. I'd be
that
crying.
is not. I'm not gonna like walk in and be like, "Where's the bar?" Like,
where's the bar? Give me a drink. They they've been invited to team garages. They like I said, the Ferrari boys were on their podcast. Like, they literally have had so many insane opportunities that they basically just shit on all those opportunities, like, and said, screw you,
nobody else cares and we don't care. We were just in it because this was a big thing blowing up and we hopped on.
I literally think they saw that it was blowing up and hopped on to the hype train. That's really stupid, and don't use ChatGPT to write your apology letters, folks. Don't do that. No. And like, even at the end, they were like, we'll come back better from this or something like that. What everyone always says. And I'm like, no, I don't think you should come back, because I don't think anyone's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anyone cool.
No, your numbers are going to collapse.
Yeah. I mean, they already are, but like, you're not going to get anyone. But yeah, so that was.
I was joking earlier, by the way. If Screaming Meals wants us to come on the show, we will absolutely come on the show. I am more than happy to come on the show. Please.
We probably, because like IndyCar's in America, so like there's more than one shot to like go to an IndyCar race. I also saw apparently IndyCar, if you buy tickets to IndyCar, you automatically get a paddock pass.
Oh,
like it's included. So like anyone can go into the paddock, and IndyCar is so much cheaper than F1.
That's cool. We should do that.
I know
we're going to the IndyCar race.
They were just in
making the declaration now.
They were just in Long Beach, California, but like they're all over. So you still get to see McLaren because he is involved. So
That's true.
But yeah. So that was the craziness. I definitely wanted to take time.
More happier topics now, though.
More fun. The last two topics are fun. Nothing really of. Actually, it could bring up talking points. I'm going to ask you all of these. There's a lot, but I'm going to ask you all. So
go ahead. Fire away. You want to do like lightning round? Just like boom, 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 boom.
Well, some of them are a little bit longer, but they're towards the end. These ones are some of the beginning ones. So it varies. It could be random topics with F1. It could be different tracks. So we'll go for it. Okay, ready?
Oh, God. I got to think about tracks. Okay. Hold on.
F1, this or that. Let's go. Okay. Question 1.
Go ahead.
Ferrari or Red Bull?
Ferrari.
Silverstone or Monaco?
Silverstone.
A racetrack or a street track? Or a street circuit?
A racetrack.
A dry race or a wet race?
A dry race.
Spa or Brazil?
Spa.
Hamilton or Ayrton Senna? I can never say his name. Senna. Yeah, Hamilton also loves him, so that's why I put them next to each other.
I have to go Hamilton, just because I'm more familiar with him than
Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with Hamilton. Yes.
A hairpin turn or a chicane?
A chicane.
Chicanes are fun. Crofty or Ted Kravitz?
Crofty.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, Crofty.
A day race or a night race?
Ooh, night race.
A shoey with Daniel Ricciardo or jumping in the pool at Monaco with Daniel Ricciardo?
Oh my God, a shoey with Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
Be the FIA boss or be a team principal?
Be a team principal. I do not want all that backlash. I don't want all that backlash coming to me.
No. Leclerc or Verstappen?
Leclerc.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to go with Leclerc there.
Wait. Pause. Did you see the Furious One Leclerc Monaco line? The jerseys?
Yeah.
They're coming out with just Leclerc and Monaco ones. I want every single one.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
A special release of like a few different jerseys. There's one that's like full maroon that says Leclerc. That's the one I want.
Oh.
Okay, back to the game.
Keep
Overtaking or straight line speed? Not really. I don't like that one.
I'm gonna go straight line speed because I love when you're on a cockpit camera and they have a little graphic that goes on the halo and it gives you like what gear they're in, what position they're in, like stuff like that, and you can see their speed, and I just love watching that number climb. And overtaking can happen on straights, and it does happen on straights now a lot of times with DRS, but most times as well it happens on turns where they're going a little bit slower. So yes, straight line speed.
Okay. Attend every race or paddock passes to one specific race? And when I say attend, you're sitting in like GA, general admission.
Paddock to one specific race.
Okay, what was that? What would that one specific race be?
I would have to say for this year, I would have to say Vegas. Just because I think the experience would be really cool. And then having paddock passes for the first time that race happens. Yes, and it's a night race. I think that would be really cool.
Okay. Go skydiving with Hamilton or go on Leclerc's yacht?
Go on Leclerc's yacht. I hate skydiving.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Be a number 2 driver on a top team or be a number 1 driver on a midfield team?
Be a number 2 driver on a top team.
Okay.
I want to go fast.
A close championship battle that comes down to the last race or win it with races to go?
A close championship battle comes down to the last race.
Okay. Would you rather win 40 races but never win a championship or win a championship without ever winning a race? Wait, what?
How the hell does that work?
Okay, take that one out.
That makes no sense.
I don't know why. I don't know what that one was. What that was. I think some of these I pulled
I'm champ,
from Reddit.
but I didn't win it all this year.
Okay, Toto Wolff or Gunther Steiner?
Gunther Steiner.
Okay. Checo or Sainz?
Checo.
Okay.
Yeah. Checo.
You said be a number 2 driver on the top team. So.
Yeah.
Only win a race. The only race you win is a home race, or you win every race but your home race.
Only win a race but a home race. Absolutely.
So you like Leclerc. Like Leclerc. He's never gonna win his home race because he never has good luck.
Yes. Because I attribute that to like going to like Phillies games, Eagles games, Flyers games, and it's like the energy in the stadium is like unmatched anywhere else. So like having that energy throughout the day and then winning on that day, anytime I would have like a tough race or I would lose a race, then after that I would just think back to that day and I would be. That's
why I think the day Leclerc wins Monaco, that's going to be his number 1. He could win the championship that year, but I think Monaco would always be his number 1.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Okay.
Only ever win a home race.
This is racing relevant, but not F1 relevant. Okay.
Okay.
Lightning McQueen or Doc Hudson?
Come on. That's so unfair.
Thought it was a good one.
Doc Hudson. Doc Hudson. He's the OG.
Go with the. You know what came up with my TikTok the other day? That whole scene with the pit stop. The pit stop. when he goes super
PitStop.
fast
Yeah.
and he knocks the what's it called? The mustache.
The mustaches off of
Yeah.
the pit crew.
Okay. Last thing.
was that
Also
it?
fun. Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Oh, I really like that. That was fun.
We can always come up with more.
I'll have that. Well, I got to do one for you then.
Yeah, some of them were hard to come up with by the end. So
Yeah.
I mean, I had like almost 25, but I just deleted obviously that one that made no sense and
Yeah.
another one. Well, I was gonna ask
good.
oversteer or understeer, but I don't know enough about either of them to make a decision.
I don't know. I'm like sitting here being like,
I know.
yeah, I don't know. I have to. I don't think I know. I'm not confident that I know enough.
Enough, yeah.
Like to make that decision, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So now we picked 6. We talked about this yesterday, very last minute. So I understand if you didn't do your homework, but I think as we're going through, you could probably think of.
I have one for Hamilton, and I'll try to think of others.
Okay. So we picked 6 drivers. I think doing all 20 would have been too much. So we picked 6 drivers, and we're comparing them to other professional athletes. It was inspired by a TikTok I saw. They were comparing Leclerc to Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees because they were saying that they're both with historic franchises or teams, but they have personal success, but the team doesn't ever have real team success. So I was like, ooh, yes. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, like I said, we picked 6. So first up, Lewis Hamilton. I said Tom Brady. It was easy.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I think, what's your reasoning? Because I think mine's very akin to it. Like very
Yeah,
similar.
I could also name other ones for him because I really just said they're both the greatest of their sports. So that's why I could say other people are also the greatest of their sport. Like I could say like Michael Phelps because they're just win everything. So who do you have? Who were you thinking of?
I was thinking Sidney Crosby. Just because, again, very, very good personally, but team is struggling. And it kind of works out perfectly because the year that Mercedes starts struggling, the Penguins just didn't make the playoffs for the first time since Sidney Crosby's tenure on the team. So I think that's what I thought of.
Not to go off topic, but I literally saw someone compare. They said Sidney Crosby is just Claude Giroux with a good front office.
Yes.
Because the minute he had Hextall.
The minute.
Yeah. Okay. Max Verstappen. I said Patrick Mahomes. Now I said because they're both relatively. They're not new to their sport, but they're relatively have new success in the past few years. They've both are like crazy talented. They have a lot. They're gonna have long careers if Max Verstappen doesn't retire because there's too many races. So I said Patrick Mahomes for Max Verstappen. It was really hard. I kept going back to hockey players, but I did split. I did give a good I
have one.
Okay, good.
John Rahm from PGA.
Okay.
I don't know specifically when John Rahm started golfing or when he got his tour card and became a pro golfer. But
the guy that just won.
Yes, John Rahm just recently won the Masters last weekend. He and Verstappen both had crazy dominant starts to the year and to their respective seasons. John Rahm came out absolutely firing, and I think within the first 5 tournaments had won 3. So, wow. and that's very hard to do in golf. So, yes, I would say, and he shows no signs of stopping, and neither does Max Verstappen.
Didn't he? Wasn't he in the tournament this past weekend? I thought I saw. He didn't even take a week off.
No, he didn't take a week off. It's a little skewed because it was an elevated event.
Okay.
Basically, what that means is the tournament for the weekend, the payout purse is a little bit higher and a lot of the bigger names on the PGA are required to play in the event. So that's why you saw like John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler and everything there after competing in the Masters. But yes, I mean, like he's such a dominant golfer, and like if you want any kind of clue as to how good he is, like go watch his first round of the Masters where he double bogeys the first hole and then goes 7 under for the day. And it's like,
wait, I love that it came out that Zach Ertz and JJ Watt were wait, was it JJ Watt? Yeah. They were texting him beforehand.
They texted him beforehand, and I think the funniest part about that is Zach Ertz literally says in the group chat they have, saying like,
don't play like us or something.
The first hole looks like a walk in the park. And then he double bogeys it. And then Zach Ertz on the side texts JJ Watt and goes, oh, double bogeys the first hole. Horrendous. And I was like,
I think, wasn't it JJ Watt? He was like, we told him to play good, not like us.
Yes. Yeah, it was. No,
and then someone yelled Go Birds as he was taking.
Somebody did yell Go Birds, yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, Leclerc. Now hear me out. Hear me out for this one and our last one, the last person on the list.
Okay.
I said Connor McDavid for Charles Leclerc. Kind of like going off of the video that inspired this. They're both extremely talented. They both are playing for teams that have a history of winning.
Yep.
They can be dominant if they get it together, but they just haven't in the past few years. But they're both like the stars of their team. They do insanely well with what they're given. That's why I chose Connor McDavid.
Thinking.
Anywhere I can tell.
I think I have one, but it's not my best comparison because I'm not as familiar with this sport.
What sport is it?
I'm going Joel Embiid from the Sixers.
Oh.
I know the aspect of like the aspect of like a traditional like historic team isn't there, or like doesn't really connect from when you're looking at Ferrari versus
I kind of get where you're going though.
But like you kind of said, like they're both very talented. But
yeah,
the thing that I'm thinking of, and this is where it could be completely wrong, so this might be me straight up talking out of my ass, but I'm at least pretty sure that the running joke with the Sixers in the playoffs is that they never get past round 2. And it's like we're dominant in round 1, and then round 2 comes and we just like shit the bed. And that just reminds me of all the troubles that Ferrari has as a team of just like we're looking so good, like we got 2 great drivers, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like the team is the cause of the issues, and it's not like one singular person.
It's
like
not just that person. Yeah.
It's not just him. And it's like 9 times out of 10 when I see Joel Embiid in like headlines or on articles, it's for a good reason. Like he had a dominant game or something. And again, I could just be talking straight up out of my ass here, but that's Charles Leclerc, Joel Embiid.
I like it. And Joel Embiid is also an F1 fan. I remember seeing that he was tweeting last year talking about different races and Leclerc specifically. So
I forgot about that. Yeah.
If there was ever a picture that comes out with Leclerc sitting next to Joel Embiid, I would lose my mind.
That would need to go on a shirt like right away.
Yeah, I would need it. I'll blow it up. I would print it. Okay, I am now looking at this and I'm not loving it, but I will make it make sense. So
let's hear it. Sergio
Perez. So I know I compared Hamilton to Patrick Mahomes, but I was going off the facts that Perez is Verstappen's teammate. They do and don't get along. There's rumors that they just don't get along at all. So I compared him to Shaq. Okay, hear me out. Because by the end of their time together, Shaq and Kobe Bryant didn't like each other.
Oh.
They didn't get along. They weren't the greatest, but when they were good teammates, they were unstoppable.
Right.
So that's why I connected Perez to Shaq.
I like it. I'm gonna go.
It's really dark in here.
I have a good one for this.
Okay.
All right, Sergio Perez.
Mm-hmm.
2017, Nick Foles.
Okay.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And here's why.
Yes.
Because he's second in line.
Mhm.
Everybody kind of dismisses him. But when he needs to get it done, he gets it done. He gets it done. Like,
that's a good one.
When Perez needed to win that Grand Prix this year, I'm blanking on which one he won already.
Jeddah,
yeah. He got it done. He got it done. When Carson Wentz got injured in the 2017 season for the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Foles steps up, takes us to the Super Bowl, gets it done. That's my comparison. That might be my favorite one so far.
That's a good one. Fernando Alonso. Are you ready? I'm going hockey with this one.
Fernando. Okay, go ahead.
I said Yager because he's just.
That's good.
He's old. They're both old. They're both still going.
They're still going.
And somehow still performing well. Maybe Yager's not performing that great, but I feel like he is performing pretty well still wherever he's playing. So yeah, that was the easiest one. As soon as I picked him, I was like Yager. I also said Chara too because he was also old. He was also old, but like by the time he retired, he was playing with people that were like babies when he was first in the league. And that's why I feel like Alonso and Lance Stroll is like a father-son duo because of their age gap. But
I like it.
Yeah, Yager was my number one.
I have one, also a hockey player, Claude Giroux.
Oh.
And I'm kind of going the same angle that you are, but like, we had watched Claude Giroux from the start of his Philadelphia Flyers career to the end of his Flyers career, and I forget like who was on the team when like Giroux was like a young like rookie. So it's like when I think about that, it just feels so long ago to me when he joined the team, like super long ago.
We were also like legit children when
right. So like it just feels like he's just like always been on the Flyers, and he kind of has, but he pretty much has because he has always played for the Flyers. But kind of the same thing with Fernando Alonso. It just feels like he's always been in F1. Like he's always just been there. Like,
yeah, he's always.
And then like when we were talking about the Australian Grand Prix in 2002, I think. Yes, 2002. Like he was there. Like
he was there. Yeah.
And it's like he's just always there. And it's like Claude Giroux to me is just always been there, has always been on the Flyers teams. Even when he's not, I'm like, oh, Claude Giroux's probably on that team. Like that's my comparison, because it's like those are two guys. It's like for my entire knowledge of the sport and the team, they're always there.
Wait, you know what I'm going off before my last one, talking about that, how like when like the generations cross with different players or drivers. I saw a tweet the other day. Someone's like, I totally forgot that by the end of Michael Schumacher's career, Daniel Ricciardo was in F1. Like, do you think about them driving at the same time?
That doesn't track to me.
No,
that feels so weird. So wrong.
Okay, and last one, Lando Norris. Also, hear me out. Okay, I said Travis Konechny. Affectionately TK. Because they're both on teams that aren't the greatest or haven't been. But they have the potential. They can do it. They can be the difference maker on their team. They can score in the points or score however many goals TK just had. So yeah, TK and Lando Norris was my. Mom might like Lando Norris after I tell her after she hears that one.
I'm struggling on this one.
He was hard.
Because I'm trying to think of like a young talent that kind of the same thing is on like a struggling team.
Mm-hmm.
But like people love.
That's what I wanted to go back to how I compared them to the Ducks, and I was going to say Zegras again, but like I didn't want to use the Ducks again with McLaren.
I think I got to skip on this one. I think I have to skip. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, this one was hard.
I can't think of one.
I didn't choose anyone else. I was trying to think of like other drivers, but like I couldn't think of someone that I could relate to George Russell or like Valtteri Bottas. I was trying to think, or like I was even trying to do like Daniel Ricciardo. I was trying to see like who's even someone that, like kind of not fell off, but you know what I mean, like stopped. But even that one was
if
hard.
you wanted
Yeah,
if you wanted to go for Daniel Ricciardo one, and this is the first person that came to my mind, so it's definitely not the best choice. I would say Brandon Marsh on the Phillies, just because those two personalities I feel like gel really well.
Yeah.
And like they would get along really well. But again, that's like the first person that came to my mind. And I'm going on that pure surface level of just like they seem like they have a lot of fun with what they're doing. And that's it. Like that's about it.
Yeah,
that's my
like
in-depth
that one's good.
Analysis there for Daniel Ricciardo.
Of Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, but I couldn't think of anyone else.
Yeah, I can't think of one for Norris. But I think that was pretty good. I got 5 out of
you were quick.
5 out of the 6 right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Could always come up with more, but we got it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's episode of F1 Underground Podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure to follow us on Instagram at undergroundf1 and on Twitter at underground_f1. As always, we'd like to thank Kyle and the guys over at Underground Sports Philadelphia for helping us make this show happen, and go give that a show a follow. We will be back next week with pre-race week content. Thank the freaking Lord.
Yeah.
Thank the freaking Lord. We'll be able to discuss, I believe, the new qualifying session we'll be going through. So we'll have a lot to discuss.
Yeah, most likely.
I can't wait. So thank you, everyone. We got to pose because he's not on here.
Kyle. I'm gonna get my Eagle shirt in there so that way.
You can go first.
So I know I talked about a couple Eagles guys, so.
Okay, I'll go like this.
Perfect.
That was long enough. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next